channel. So today I am joined here with my partner Blake, and the whole reason that we're doing this video is because I want to share a bit more positive vibes on a topic that I feel like I hear so much negative energy about. So obviously I read and hear a lot of stories about women out there that don't really have a lot of support and patience from their partners. And I feel like that's something really important to have when you do have endometriosis or are going through a pretty tough condition. And I feel like the more we share like positive energy about it, the more that women out there will learn and understand that there are males out there that will still love them with this condition, but then also help males out there try and understand a little bit how to help their partners with this situation. Okay, so we're gonna start off this video first by just answering a little bit of questions just about us so you can kind of get to know us a little bit better. So, Blake,
yes.
The first question is, where did we first meet?
We met at the gym through Ali.
Yes, we had a mutual friend and he kind of wingmanned it a little bit. And then, yeah, here we are. Okay, where was our first date?
At the dog park with Kiara.
Yeah, he has a dog, Kiara, and that's
our child.
Oh, look at her now. So, where did you meet my parents?
So I was supposed to meet the parents on the Saturday at a barbecue. Actually, I met the dad already at the gym.
Yeah.
I was meeting the mum and the grandparents the next day on the Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
But on the Friday, you went into hospital.
Yes.
So I left work early and met them all there at the hospital.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, at the hospital. So he had already met my dad at the gym, but then it was like really early on in our relationship that all this kind of happened. The first time, like I didn't really want to scare Blake too much with how bad my periods were, but then obviously that period was really bad, and then I did end up in hospital, so he kind of learnt quickly how bad they were.
While meeting the family.
Yeah, while meeting my mum and my grandparents for the first time. But in a way, I am sort of glad it did happen that way, because then, you know, my mum and my grandparents did see straight off how like supportive and caring he was. So that I'll do that whole nother story in a different video. But pretty much we started like dating and like we're in our relationship, but it wasn't really until like maybe 3 or 4 months into it that my periods got really bad. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I pretty much started ending up in hospital through like
4 out of 6.
Yeah, 4 out of 6. And then that's when we both kind of learnt what endometriosis was, because I hadn't heard of it, you hadn't heard of it, and then that's pretty much how this all started.
Yes.
Yes, through that little hospital visit.
I've learned so much with the hospital visits and all the appointments.
So Blake comes to my gynaecologist appointments with me too. That's why, like, when I do read that, you know, that girls don't have supportive partners, like I can't imagine going to these appointments or going to the hospital by myself, like without Blake. And, or even like, you know, Blake has taken it to the point where he does have a day off the day that I'm meant to get my period. And I know that, you know, not everyone has that situation where they can do that, but I was just lucky enough to have that. But in saying that, like even days leading up to it is really tough as well for females. And obviously days after, like it's not like, you know, it's just the day of your period that are tough. It's the days after it, the week before it, like it's a whole process.
7-8 day thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
From when you start getting cramps in your stomach to the period itself, to the couple of days after, you're mentally drained, you're tired.
I'm crying for no reason. Crying and laughing at the same time. And I just don't know, like that's how we know when I'm about to get my period, because I'll literally cry, like I just cry for no reason. But I laugh at the same time because I don't know what's really happening to me.
Mainly cry.
Yeah, mainly crying. Anyways, we still managed to have like a happy relationship with it, because I feel like now we've learned how to make the most of it. So the days that, you know, it is leading up to me getting my period, or the day that I know I'm kind of going to have my period, we just kind of chill, relax.
Yeah,
we don't do anything too crazy.
We do have to work around it.
Yeah.
But
definitely.
as long as we both know how bad it is, so we make it work. Those days, those 7 days, yeah, we keep it low key.
Yeah.
Make sure we have everything ready.
Yes. All the painkillers and the anti-inflammatories
hot water bottles.
and essential oils,
Hot water
everything
bottles, yeah.
we kind of have prepared. And the days that, you know, pretty much once my period's over, we just kind of get back to life, make the most of it, plan things, you know, that we can do
for 3 weeks and
then we're back to it. But we've managed to make it work.
Yeah.
And still live a happy life and still maintain like a really happy relationship with it. And I think that's the most important thing that I want other women to know out there, that they can still have a relationship and have endometriosis, and just figure out ways that it is going to work for you and your partner. Okay, so another thing that we wanted to really get across, especially to the partners, is let them know that it's not just a bad period. It's not just a bad period.
Understand, it's not just at first, when Emilia first went to hospital, to me it was just a period. Obviously she was in a lot of pain, but once you learn more about the disease, you have to understand that it's not just a period. Like the pain that it causes is a high amount of pain. Like I've seen her faint, I've seen her scream, I've heard noises in her stomach that I don't want to hear. You have to understand that, yeah, it's not just a period.
Yeah, and there's a lot more symptoms that come along with it, like fatigue, like how tired I get. Like I get really tired. So the week of my period and kind of the week before, I get really fatigued and tired.
Yeah, and the mental distress knowing that it's coming that day or the next day.
The anxiety leading up to it.
You have to drop everything, whatever if you're working, you're not going to be at work, or you shouldn't be. You have to be ready for it. So we've got that worked out now.
Yeah, we have that planned and all under control.
Yeah. So that's why we haven't had to visit the hospital the last 2 months.
Yes, which is exciting.
We have a good system in place.
Yeah, and that is really important, to have a system in place. Like, be ready for it, be prepared, so that when it does hit, you really just let your body relax and not be anxious and
be in the best
frantic
situation,
about it.
The best situation you can be.
Yeah, exactly. So that's why we always really just relax a couple of days before it as well, just in case it comes early, or, you know, we do leave a bit of time if it comes late as well, just in case.
And know your symptoms as well. Like, we know you're crying, it's coming.
That it's coming. If I'm cramping before as well, like severely, we know it's coming. Just little things like that.
Chocolates.
Yeah, the craving. Oh, I get really bad cravings like the day or two before. Like, it's pretty bad.
Yeah, Mexican
nachos. Oh,
nachos.
Chocolate. Just lots of snacking, which I do have to be mindful of as well. Blake's kind of controlled it a little bit, I think, now, because I do tend to just want to snack, but we've also learnt now, we're doing a little bit more research, that all those kind of snacks it's gonna make it a bit worse for me, the flare up. So we try and eat super clean, like leading up to it.
Or even then, you still have to watch. You ate one thing and waited to see how your body reacted.
Yeah.
And then tried something different if it didn't like it. So.
And Blake's really good with that as well. Like, if he knows that, you know, leading up to it, I have to be I generally am pretty healthy, but I do have to clean it up a lot more, and he won't like eat junk food in front of me and stuff like that. He kind of does the healthy lifestyle with me.
I'll do that anyway.
Yeah, he does. No, he is really healthy as well. I've been lucky with that as well. But yeah, he does really keep me on track, and we don't let this condition take over our relationship. No. That's probably what I'm most happy about.
I'm in it with you.
Yeah.
I feel everything.
He does. He really does, actually, because at the end of the day, I am squeezing his hand where it really breaks, like cramping. Yeah. Stuff like that. So, yeah, he does live it with me.
And it's not nice for me to see you screaming either.
No.
Or crying.
No.
Depends which crying.
If I'm laughing?
No, the crying before the period's usually funny, but the crying when the period
during the
comes,
cramping and stuff.
It's a bit more serious.
Yeah, it is really serious. So another thing that we wanted to touch on is life hurdles that do come along with this condition as well. So I lost my job due to having this condition, which is a whole separate video, because that's going to be a long one, I think. But Blake was really supportive in that whole situation as well, because not only does that affect, you know, my situation, but mentally for me, I think it was really tough, where Blake sort of kept me really strong, because you do lose yourself. Like, it's crazy how much a job can affect your life. And my confidence. Just try and be as supportive as you can in that sense. Like, just try and keep, you know, your partner a bit more positive, and just know that mentally it's, you know, there is a lot physically, like it's very painful physically, and that's very clear to see, but also there's a lot of things that can play in the back of, you know, their mind as well, because I knew a lot of things played in the back of my mind, where you can really pick up on the days that I do kind of struggle a little bit more. Yeah. And he does really get me to open up and talk about it, because sometimes it is a bit hard to talk about it, and you don't really want to say too much because you're still trying to process everything. But in saying that, like, every time I have opened up to Blake a lot more, I felt so much better, and you've kind of just talked me through it and just reassured. Yeah, you do a lot of reassuring.
And it goes back to the point of understanding that it's not just a period. So employers have to understand that, again, she might say, I've got my period, I can't be in today, but it's not just her period. It's hey, I might faint at work. Yeah, or scream. Yeah, I might just scream. That's going to be a big video, I think. Am I in it?
Oh, you want to be in another one? No, Blake did, because he did ask me whether I was going to do a video about losing my job, and I was really umming and ahhing about it, because it did affect me a lot, and I wasn't sure how I was going to go speaking about it so publicly. But yeah, Blake said I'd have his support 100%. So
you have to do it.
It was a big part of this whole story and journey that I was on.
Yeah, it's part of the reason why you started it. And to help raise the awareness of not just the disease, but what happens outside.
How it affects your life.
Yeah. Another hurdle.
A big hurdle. You know, especially when women are first diagnosed or first hear about, they could have endometriosis. That's, you know, it's normal to freak out, but in saying that, we have learned that there are so many other ways around it, and now we're a lot more at ease about things. Just really just relax about it, and just not stress, and just take it one step at a time, and let things fall into place. Just not stressing.
Not focusing on the bad things too much.
Yeah, we really focus more on the positives. I'm so proud of you.
Thanks.
Are you so proud of yourself?
No, I was just doing what I do, babe.
That's true. You make it easy. Thanks. Love you. Alright, so we're going to wrap up this video here. What do you say, babe?
I say like, share and subscribe.
Oh, love that. So yeah, please like, share and subscribe, and let's just keep creating awareness, but keeping it positive about endometriosis, and just really help other women out there and now their partners as well. I think it's important to remember that it's not only the women going through this, it's their families, it's their partners, you know, it's their support system. So I feel like that's really important, and we should really try and help them as much as possible as well. I think is really important. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Baby, are we gonna wave?
Peace out.
Oh, peace out.